Die Hanswors, the clown. The poem is about a clown with a hunchback. Think of the hunchback of Notre Dame, a bit bent over. A hunchback in Afrikaans, ons noem dit vergroeide ruggraat. Vergroeide ruggraat. I've written it top right, which causes him to be in pain all the time, his hunchback. And he's mocked by his colleagues, the other people in the circus, and this causes him more pain than his hunchback. And the clown chooses to be alone and hang out with the animals in the circus instead. So, animals, people. His colleagues speak behind his back about his torn clothes and wonder what he does with the wage he gets. So maybe he's battling quite a bit. And he receives a letter every month, and his colleagues cannot believe that there is someone out there who cares about him. Like, oh, how can you care about him? And this clown has a possible drinking problem. So he could be an alcoholic. He could be battling with alcoholism. But this does not affect the quality of his work. He is an asset to his boss, so he's good at what he does. Okay, so quickly the structure of the poem. Daar's is 26, 26 versreels. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 big fourth stanza, 5 strophes. So there's 5 stanzas, and stanza 1, stanza 2, stanza 3, and stanza 5 have 4 lines each. 4 lines, ons noem dit 'n quatrain. Daar's 4 quatraine. So what's going on then in stanza 4? We'll get to that later. Stay tuned. Our rymskema, strofe 1, 2 en 4. We have paarrym, so bochel, gekochel, venyn, pyn, hoek, gesoek. So they come in pairs. Is, salaris, drank, bedank, and you get the idea of everything. Look, I'm not going to do all of it, but there's paarrym in 1, 2, 4. And there's kruisrym in 3 and 5. So kruisrym is where they cross over each other. So toer, and we have a point of intersection here. So what do? We equate the graphs. That was a maths joke. Sorry if I'm giving you some trauma from your pure math days. And gelees en wees. You see, point of intersection here, they cross over. Same in the 5th. Een dag en sag, verblind en kind. There's your point of intersection there for kruisrym. I'm adding maths to Afrikaans. Yo, am I complicating things here? Like, are you more confused about Hanswors now than you were? Like, have I just made you sillier? Okay, give me some time, and I will ensure that you understand Die Hanswors. Die Hanswors, die. Okay, I changed the color. Let's get serious. So the theme, it's judgment. There's a lot of judgment of the clowns going on here. 2, there's love between mother and son. So we are introduced to his mother here at some stage. And the message here is people should not judge or mock each other just because some people look different than others. So we're all unique. The tone, die toon, it's melancholic, hartseer, hartso. So I'm going to just put sad there instead of using all these big words on you guys. And the reader feels sad for the clown because of his unlucky life, and because he gets judged by others. So we're also quite sympathetic to the clown. Okay, and just bits and pieces specifically now about the title. So a Hanswors, also called a nar, and a clown is usually mocked and laughed at because they do very silly things. There is this massive insect that's on my laptop right now, and I don't know whether I should continue with this recording. I'm scared of insects, man. What if this thing bites me? Then I can't release any of the other poems. This is like the 7th poem that I'm recording today. Hashtag pray for Goon. So yeah, the clown is usually mocked and laughed at because they do silly things. And in the context of this poem, the clown has a deformity. So because of his back, and maybe this adds to his profession of being a clown. So he is deformed because of his hunchback. Say, vergroeide ruggraat. And people laugh at him because of this. And the insect is still here. But I'm just going to continue, okay? Pray for me. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to end the recording here. You guys are on your own. Okay, no, I'm joking. So line 1. Afsig teeklike. This means hideous. Bochel refers to him being a hunchback, a form of kyphosis. Line 2, we have kromheid, crookedness. We also have the H alliteration, H, het, hom, and this places emphasis on the hulle and die Hanswors, the two groups of people in the poem. Gekokkel, I messed up that pronunciation. Gekokkel, sorry, that was pretty gross, but in Afrikaans you gotta make those guttural sounds with your throat, you know what I'm saying. Line 3, Fanein. This refers to the ugly and painful things that they are saying. In line 4, now these same ugly and painful things that they're saying is worse than the pain from his hunchback. Rug, raad, pain. This contrasts with Fanein, and its function is to place emphasis on the fact that his colleagues and their gossip hurt him more than the pain from his deformity. And this guy is going through a lot. Line 5. He sits with the animals because they do not judge him. So animals, greater than people. He feels safe with them. Hy voel veilig. Line 6. He feels very alone, eensaamheid, but he's comfortable in his solitude as he's surrounded by animals. But he still feels alone, but he's okay. Usually clowns are supposed to be funny and social around people, very extroverted characters, but he refers to himself as just being constantly alone. Gesoek. He chooses to be alone because of their malice. Everything they say carries some level of malicious intent. His colleagues and the crowd as well. The double point over here, the colon, now we're going to have an explanation for why he chooses to be alone. Line 7 and 8. We have aanhalingstekens here. We've got our inverted commas, and these are the direct words of his colleagues. And we've also got an entire rhetorical question here in line 7 and line 8. And in hierdie retoriese vraag, they do not ask him directly, so he cannot give them the answer. They speak among each other, behind his back, and this emphasizes the way they speak down on him all the time. In line 9 and line 10, hate, this is done to add a bit of rhythm, this contraction, and someone sends him a letter every month, and he sends one back every month. So he's exchanging letters with somebody. This is in line 10 and line 11, so we look at them as a whole. In line 11, he reads this letter next to the animal cages. Oor en oor, so it shows that this person is important or special to him. Our double punt, our colon, indicates that there's going to be an explanation or direct speech straight afterwards, and we have our aanhalingstekens, our inverted commas once again. And this is again the direct speech of his colleagues, and they cannot believe that there is someone who cares about him. They're shocked. And the purpose of our rhetorical question here is that, well, he's quite unimportant, and his colleagues are still not addressing him. They're still speaking behind his back about him amongst each other. And this shows their disdain for him. They will never know who he is because they don't ask him, and they don't care to ask either. In line 13, drank, he drank alcohol. Ewige reuk indicates that he always smells of alcohol, and this could possibly mean that he is an alcoholic. He's numbing himself so he doesn't have to deal with reality. Why does he drink? Possibly not to care or overthink their mockery. Maybe he's trying to overcome the physical pain of his deformity. It numbs him. Or perhaps it gives him the courage to perform as a circus act. Yo guys, the insect is here and I don't know what to do. I don't know, I'm away from the mic so the sound probably is terrible right now. Look, this insect, they don't want you guys to nail down the Hanswors. They don't want you to win. But I do, so I'm back. Okay, I think it's gone. Okay, Goon School lives another day. But look, it's gone under the table. I'm wearing shorts, so what if it bites my leg and then I die? Will you guys write a poem about me, analyze it, and upload it to YouTube? Please. Okay, shall we continue? So, alcohol, it gives him the courage to perform in the circus, while the audience also laughs and mocks him. Line 14, no one will cry if he resigns. No one's gonna care if he no longer shows up as a circus act. And it shows that no one cares about him at his workplace. And the only person who probably cares about him is the person who writes him a letter every month. That's line 14. Now, lines 15 to 21 goes pretty quickly. So we have maar, a voegwoord. So daar's a wending hier. So we've got a wending. So I'm going to use a different color now. Now, all these lines, they just show us what he does when he performs. So let's have a look here. So he's in the circus tent now. So line 16, he hangs like an ape on the highest part of the tent. And this is a metaphor. Okay, look, they don't say like, I just said like. It would be a vergelijking if they use soos so as, but this is a metaphor, a metafoor. In line 17, tafelwerk, tafelwerk, it refers to the ropes and slits he uses to get to the top. Klauter, this further shows that ape-like behavior. Line 18, dood, Uitart, he taunts death, meaning that he does all these death-defying tricks. Kabouter, a goblin. This is a small, funny, and naughty creature. So he's being compared to this goblin, and he's quite small in his stature. Line 19 and 20, people laugh really loudly for his devilish tricks, and they're very impressed by it. And if you look very carefully again, so line 17 and line 19, we've got a juxtaposition here. We compare and contrast them. He does things high in the air and on the ground. That makes people laugh, and he's an excellent entertainer. In line 17, hoog. In line 19, onder, high and under. Line 21 and 22, please, again, we look at this as a whole. Because of his tricks that makes the audience laugh, he's an asset to his boss. And his colleagues might mock him because of his deformity, clothes, and smell of alcohol, but he makes the boss a lot of money. And we've got a bit of irony here, irony. His colleagues have no love or respect for him, but he's an asset to his boss. We've got a bit of irony here. Irony. Toe, we have another vending. Look, I'm not going to change color because I love the red, green, and blue vibe. The venue changes from the tent to somewhere else, a house or possibly a hospital. We have an ellipse, an ellipsis, and this indicates a passage of time. A passage of time in Afrikaans, ons noem dit 'n tydsverloop. It's called a tydsverloop. And it indicates that we are also in a different place now. And it could also possibly make the reader wonder what is going to happen next. We've also got a bit of inversion here, and versie, and this emphasizes the letter that he receives and the weight it carries, its magnitude. In line 24, hy uit, see this bet, it shows us that we are not in the circus anymore. Verblind, he's blinded with tears, this clown, but not from the mockery or the pain, but possibly because of the love for his mom, because she's the only one that loves him, that takes him seriously, that cares about him. A mother's love. Oh, so sweet, so beautiful. Bochel Froki, this woman also has a hunchback. So his mother also has a hunchback. And this indicates that this is a family member as well. Froki, she's quite small, diminutive. Daar's 'n verkleining. Last line, line 26. Stervend, she's dying. Dankiemakend, it is his mom. And she is the woman that he has been receiving the letters from, so we know this for sure. And the ellipse, the ellipsis, it allows the reader to come with reasons as to why she is saying thank you. But why is she saying thank you? Well, he was working to get a wage to send his mom money every month, possibly for her hospital fees or her health care, because she's ill, she's dying. And he went through all this humiliation, and he did all these death-defying tricks, all for his mother. He took care of her financially. So, final message of the poem, don't judge a book by its cover. The age-old saying.